Hello my friends, and welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin. Today we are going to do an unhaul, but we're trying a different type of unhaul that I've seen so many people here on BookTube do, and I've actually done a similar video when I had my Patreon, but I've never done it on my actual channel, which is doing a try a chapter video. So I have 22 books here. I know, it's a lot. I'm not proud of it, but I went through my physical TBR and I picked books that either I forgot what they were about, I forgot why I wanted to read them, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like them anymore, I just want to see what the writing's like, yada yada yada, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna take the 22 books, read the first chapter of every book, which sounds crazy, I know, but I'm going to read each chapter and then I'm going to determine which ones I'm going to get rid of and which ones I'm going to possibly keep. The hope is that I get rid of more than I keep because my TBR is unnecessarily big, and face it, it's gonna take me my whole life to read as many books as I want to read, especially at the rate that I keep buying them. So I have to do these unhauls periodically because I bring in so many books and I only read so many books. So unhauls can feel really awful. It can feel like you're getting rid of your children. It can feel awful because you spent money on books. I mean, like, look, there's a lot of reasons I hate unhauls, but reasons I love unhauls is it makes room for books that I know I'm gonna read and I'm excited for, and reading tastes change so quickly, especially for me. I know me right now at this current state is reading different books than I would have 2 to 3 years ago. So, you know, it's good to do a little clean out. I want to get rid of books, give them to people who will actually read them and they don't end up sitting on dusty shelves. So, I have a lot. I have different kinds of genres too. I have a horror, thriller, romance, literary like thrillers. I actually don't know. I really need to like separate them into categories. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate these books into groups, and then I'm gonna sit on a comfy chair because I could not sit here in this chair like this for however long it's gonna take me to do this. So I'm gonna get comfy. I'm gonna get each group. I'm gonna do it in groups. That way it's not overwhelming because 22 books is a lot. It's a lot. So then I'm going to go by groups, and then I'll update you once I've finished the first chapters of each group, and I'll tell you how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, if I want to keep them, how I'm feeling about the writing style, if I think my attention's grabbed, yada yada yada. I'm sure you know how this goes, but I'm just telling you in case you've never seen a try a chapter video before. I'm gonna organize these. I should have done that before the video started, but I wasn't really thinking that far in advance. So now it's my problem at this current moment in time. So you can watch me organize these, okay? You can watch me organize these stacks. And then we will move to the comfy chair in the corner and we will start reading, which it's a very hot day. And this room, the AC doesn't reach it, okay? The AC is in the living room. It's in the living room, it doesn't reach in here. So I'm gonna be sweating. So if you see me sweating, just know that I'm filming this on a really hot day, which is my fault, but content, you know? So here we go, let's organize these. These are thrillers, these are horror, these are other, which is like fantasy, romance, literary, other, whatever. Thriller is obviously the largest category because I don't read thrillers as often as I used to. So I'm trying to weed out the ones that I know I'm not gonna like or I won't read because, I mean, I don't typically read a lot of thrillers anymore because I just don't care to. Should we go smallest to largest, or should we go largest to smallest? Something's telling me to start with the largest one because I'm gonna hate myself if I end up with this last. So we're gonna take this pile over to the chair and start reading. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I went through all the thrillers first. I have a pile of unhaul immediately. I have a pile of maybes, and then I have one that I think I'm gonna keep. Now, if you have any thoughts or opinions and you know my reading taste and you think I should keep or unhaul something that I'm trying to keep, or keep something that I'm trying to unhaul, let me know in the comments because I will take your thoughts into consideration. But this is just off of a first chapter. So first off, Complicit by Winnie M. Lee, I put in the unhaul. The first chapter is about the main character who is, I'm assuming she's an actress, and she's now a professor in college, talking about the film industry, and it was her teaching a class about characters and film and stuff like that, and she gets an email from a reporter in from the New York Times, and he's asking about some director or something that she worked with, and there's allegations, I'm assuming, that he, some essay allegations. I have realized that I don't really like reading about people that are famous. I don't think so anyways. The last few books I've read where they were famous, I just wasn't that interested. I don't know if I'm gonna like this about the film industry necessarily. It just does, I don't know, something's not pulling me, so that's why it's in the unhaul pile. Then we have The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. So there was a prologue and a first chapter. I read both. It's about a body being found on New Year's Day, and they think he drowned, but the main character, or one of the main characters, she was sleeping with some random guy and she woke up and she like forgot his name. And honestly, it was just kind of cringe. She's supposed to be 30, but like the language she used, it was just like, oh, men are so woke nowadays, and Gen Z, and well, she didn't even say Gen Z, she said Generation Z, which I thought was weird. Generation Z. I mean, just no one says that. So I don't know. She called herself slutty for not remembering his name when she woke up first thing in the morning. I don't know. It was just weird. She didn't feel like a 30-year-old, which they stated multiple times that she was 30. She felt like young. I don't know. I'm not really impressed with the writing. So let me know. But I wasn't really excited. Then I read Joe Nesbo's Blood Ties. Oh, that's really shiny. The first chapter was about a guy talking about how he's a killer, and he went to this guy's house and he's bribing him with money to say that this mountain isn't viable to build on or something like that. They don't want this mountain to be used for some reason, and he was like threatening this guy. I don't know, it was really weird. It doesn't intrigue me from the first chapter, so I was like, eh. Then we have The Main Character by Jacqueline Goldis. This was an arc I received in 2024. So this has been sitting for a while. I didn't read this author's other book, The Chateau, which I heard got really, really bad reviews. I already forgot what this first chapter was about. Oh my god. So the first chapter is from Ginevra's point of view, and she's an author, but I guess she's in front of a dead body and she's talking about how writing about death is different than like experiencing death. But the reason I put this in the unhaul pile is because literally on page 2, she says that she's the wealthiest author in the world after J.K. Rowling. And I was like, you had to add that in there? You couldn't pick like another author? I don't know. It just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, so I put it in the unhaul. Now for the maybes. Now, if you think I should keep these, let me know. If you think I should unhaul these, let me know. So I did think about keeping A Better World by Sarah Langan. I have read Sarah Langan's other book, Good Neighbors. I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. So far what I'm getting is this is like a dystopian kind of vibe. It sounds like they're on the end of an apocalypse, like where they're rebuilding, and the husband and wife that they're talking about are applying for this neighborhood, this community. It's called Plymouth Valley, and it says it's Better World's crown jewel, named the most beautiful place to live in North America. And I guess like if you get in, your kids are going to be set for life, you're set for life. So they're like interviewing to potentially move there. That's what it sounded like. This is not a chapter. It was part 1 versus part 2. And I was not going to read the entire part 1. So I just like cut myself off when I figured out what was going on a little bit. I'm not sure if I will like this, but it does say it's a devious thriller about a family seeking refuge within an exclusive enclave. Only the smiles and manicured lawns come with a price. So it kind of feels like Good Neighbors, because it was also about like this meticulous, perfect looking neighborhood, but there was like climate change involved. So I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhat similar, but if I didn't like Good Neighbors, will I like this? Then we have The Ones We Love by Anna Snoekstra. I don't know if that's how you say this author's name. This is a thriller. There was a prologue and a first chapter. The prologue was about a husband and wife, and the husband was talking about how his wife was wearing makeup and she just got home from work, and she's a Pilates instructor and she doesn't usually wear makeup, so he's like suspicious of that. I don't know if that means like he thinks she's cheating or what. If it's about cheating, I don't want to read it because I hate books about cheating. But the first chapter is about their daughter, who was with her friend. I guess they're in the fashion industry. They were at a party trying to like get connections and stuff like that. And she remembers drinking with her friend on these couches, and then she wakes up in her house, which she was supposed to spend the night at her friend's. She wakes up in her house on the floor in the living room, and she finds her mom, and well, she sees in the mirror that she's like bruised and she's got scratches, and she just looks like, I mean, something happened to her. And she runs into her mom, and her mom's like, don't say anything, don't bring it up, don't talk to anybody about it, don't do it. And she's like, I don't even know what happened. And so her mom and dad are hiding something from her that she did. It sounds to me like a movie I watched where they think their kid killed somebody, so they're gonna cover it up, but they don't actually know the whole story, and the kid didn't actually kill anybody, but the parents are gonna like commit crimes to protect their child, but the child didn't actually do anything. That's what it's giving, and if it's that, I don't think I want to read it. Then I have The Father She Went to Find by Carter Wilson. I have read Carter Wilson before. I liked how fast and like short the chapters were, but I didn't actually like the book. I think I gave it like a 3. This one I'm putting in the maybe pile because the first chapter was like maybe a page and a half. It was really short, 2 pages max. And it's about the main character who has only memories of when she was 7 and on, so she like was in a coma until she was 7 years old, and when she woke up from the coma she remembers everything else like in perfect detail, but she doesn't remember anything prior to the coma. And she wakes up on her birthday, her 21st birthday I think, and maybe, is it her 21st birthday? I could be making that up. Yeah, okay, so she gets a memory like right before she turns 21 about her dad, and she's awaiting like her card. I expect to hear from him, his annual birthday card. So I'm assuming she's not going to hear from him and she's going to go looking for him or something. I don't know. It says right here, this birthday card is different. For the first time ever, there's a return address and a goodbye. Oh. Your dad doesn't, you don't know where your dad is? That's interesting. Anyways, I don't know. It kind of intrigues me. So if it's good and twisty and I might like it, let me know. And last is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. Every Ashley Winstead book I've read, I haven't enjoyed. This has been on my TBR for so long. It's one of the first books I got from Aardvark. I've heard it's kind of Twilight-y, which kind of intrigued me. But the first chapter is about this town in Louisiana finding out that there was remains found in a swamp, and the main character's dad is like a priest or a preacher. There's a lot of religious stuff happening in the first chapter, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't love religious stories unless it's done in a certain way. I don't know, I was kind of like rolling my eyes, and then she goes home and she runs into some guy that apparently she's known forever, and she's like, they know about the body. Is he a vampire? Is that what we're talking about? Is it werewolves? I don't know. Should I read this? Is it good? Is it bad? I'm not sure. The only book that's in my keep pile is Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. The other 2 books I've read from this author I've really enjoyed. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, I loved. Her other book was pretty good. It was like decent, like it was like a 4-ish, 3.5 kind of vibe. This one, I haven't heard much about it, but I do like this author's writing style. And the first chapter is about this wife who wakes up. It's her first day back to work. She's been on maternity leave for like 9 months, and her daughter's going to like daycare for the first time, and she's going back to work, and she wakes up to her husband being gone, and she thinks it's weird, but she thinks maybe he's just at work. She finds this note from him, but it's really ominous. It's not like a, hey, I love you, good luck, I'll see you later. It's just like a very like cryptic note. And she's going to work. She works in the publishing industry. She's like a agent, I think, like a literary agent, which I do love publishing book world working atmosphere. What? I do like when characters work in the publishing industry, or like they work with books, so that's cool. It's another point for it. But she sees on the news that there is a hostage situation going on, and her husband is not a hostage, but he is involved, and I think he's the gunman doing the hostaging. I think that's what it says. I think this one sounds pretty good, and I have enjoyed this author's other work, so I am tempted to keep this because I think I might enjoy it. But the others, I'm just like really not sure about. That's it for thrillers. So we're gonna move on to horror. I'm gonna get the pile and start reading those first chapters. I'm already tired. Okay, went through horror, so I officially only have Unhaul and maybes in this pile. I don't have any for sure keeps, so again, need your help, let me know. For the Unhauls, I have The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. So I've tried The Luminous Dead and I DNF'd that. I read The Death of Jane Lawrence and I liked the first half, hated the second half. I gave it like 2 stars. So this one I was definitely on the edge with getting it, but I got it from Aardvark, so I felt like that was a safer bet than buying it full price. But from the first chapter, it sounds like there's this castle that's under siege. Like all these people are living there and they only have food supply that's gonna last them like 15 days. The main character is a nun, but it sounds like she's also a witch of sorts or something. And the king wants her to make water and food. Like he's like, figure it out, make water and food for people, and she's like, I don't know how. So she's trying to work on that, and that's all that I got. But honestly, that didn't really intrigue me. So, and my track record with this author is not great, so I'm leaning towards the Unhaul. Then we have Cassandra Cause, The Library at, I don't know if this is pronounced Hellebore, whatever. I got this from Evernight. I was not planning on buying this book, but it was in my Evernight subscription, so that's why I got it. I don't know, it sounds like it's a school for, what does it say? It's a technical institute for the gifted, but it's like dangerously powerful people, so like Antichrist, Ragnaroks, the World Eaters, Apocalypse Makers. So the first chapter starts with this character killing her roommate, like her roommate's dead, and I guess something bad's about to happen. It says that on graduation day, the faculty goes on a ravenous rampage. It says the main character and a group of her classmates escape the carnage, but they're trapped in the school's library. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this author's writing. I did not like, what was her book called? Nothing But Blackened Teeth, which is the most beautiful cover, but was not a good book. So I'm not very interested in this. Then I read the first chapter of The Narrow by Kate Alice Marshall. It's YA. I'm not that big into YA right now. I haven't been for a while. This is about the main character it's her senior year at this boarding school, I guess. And every year the class jumps this river that's on the grounds of the school, and it's supposed to be the most dangerous body of water. It's supposed to be the most dangerous body of water in the county. She's also covering some bruises. I guess something happened when she was at home, probably like maybe abuse, I'm not sure. And she's acting weird towards her friends. I don't know. I'm not really into the whole like academic setting, especially like YA academic. So it just doesn't really intrigue me. This has been on my TBR for so long, Man-Made Monsters. It's a short story collection. All the authors are indigenous, I believe. I've tried to read this before and I just couldn't get into it. I've had this for multiple years, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna unhaul it. I read the first story again and I already don't really remember it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's YA, but I can't get into it. As for the maybes, I am thinking of keeping No Road Home by John Fram. This is about a father and son, and the father gets married to this woman whose family, I think her dad's like a televangelist, and it's giving Get Out vibes. I don't know, he just arrived in this small Texas town, and this, I forget, the cashier or something, this old woman, she's working, I think it's a Cracker Barrel they're at, and I think she's working there, and she was like staring at the dad. She was like looking like hardcore at him, and he was just like, what? And then she's like, why do you have that scar, young man? And it's like a fishhook scar. It's you. And she was acting very weird. I don't know. It was giving Get Out, and I love Get Out, but I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but it did intrigue me with that like final line. So I'm leaning towards keeping it. This is also one of my oldest aardvark books on my TBR. This is Where You End by Abbott Caller, I'm not sure. This is about twins. So the first chapter is these twins get into a car accident, and one of them ends up like really injured, and she was in a coma for like 2 years, I think, and she doesn't remember anything except for her twin. And so her twin is gonna start telling her things, and I guess she's suspicious that the twin isn't telling her everything. I don't know how intrigued I am about twins. I feel like it's a very overdone trope, so I'm not sure I want to read this, but also it doesn't sound like it's gonna be that hard of a read. The chapters are pretty short, so I feel like I could fly through it. So I'm not really sure. I'm really on the fence about it. I don't know how to feel. You guys could probably talk me into keeping it or unhauling it, so I don't know. Then we have The House of the Last Resort by Christopher Golden. So Christopher Golden, I did not enjoy Road of Bones by him. I think I gave it 2, maybe 3 stars. I wasn't the biggest fan. This one I also got from Aardvark. So this is about a husband and wife who are moving to Italy, and they've bought this house that is like not super run down, but it needs a lot of work. And when they arrive to this little small Italian town, an earthquake occurs, and it's just really like ominous, and there's like a shadow flitting by. He like sees it out of the corner of his eye, and it's really like mysterious, but then it like disappears. It's supposed to be haunted. I don't know. I've heard mixed things about it. I'm not sure if it's gonna be my kind of haunted house story. I like that it takes place in Italy, but I don't know if that's gonna be the one thing that really intrigues me the most, and I don't know if I want to keep it just for that. But I have no pull to it, so again, I think this is more towards like an unhaul than a keep, but I could be swayed, I think. So let me know if you've read this. So that's it for horror. We're gonna move on to like the miscellaneous category and do some more reading. Sorry for the lack of B-roll for this group, but my camera battery was dying, so I had to charge it while I was finishing reading up the books. So I have 2 maybes, 3 unhauls, and 1 keep as of right now. So the unhauls are To Charm a Dark Prince by Catherine Ann Kingsley. So this is about this girl. I think she's around 18. It sounds like she's talking about college. She has a long distance relationship with her boyfriend, and she just found out he cheated on her. And she's complaining to her cat about how she just wants to like live a different life, and she wants to explore, and she wants to get out there. She wants to move to a bigger city. She wants to see the world, yada yada yada. And she starts a fire with a candle in her house, and then some kind of portal, black hole opens up. On the back it says she's transported to a magical realm. I don't know. It was kind of cringy to read. I was not really into the writing style, so I think I'm gonna unhaul it. Then we have Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This is about the main character who's cleaning out her childhood home, and she's like trying to like lift furniture by herself, and I think the next door neighbor comes over to help, and she freaks out. She's a true crime junkie from what it sounds like, and she's just sure that he's a murderer, which, like, granted, women do have to be very careful, so I get it, but it's just like her reaction is so cringe that I was like, okay. And she's like, get out of here, like, what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, yes, you would be scared, but also I do feel like it is kind of a normal thing for your neighbors to help you move in or like move out. Like, I mean, like, if they're nice, I feel like that's kind of like a common thing. I don't know. She just sounds weird. I wasn't very into the first chapter. They obviously are gonna fall in love, I know that, but like, it just isn't, it's not calling to me. Black Woods, Blue Sky by Eowyn Ivy. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. I read the first chapter of this. Obviously, I'm reading the first chapter of every book. But this mom, she works a job at like a bar as a waitress, and I don't know, I guess the night previously she like was doing coke, she was getting drunk, she was doing crazy things. So she wakes up really hungover, and she leaves her daughter, I think the daughter's pretty young. She leaves the daughter in bed to go fishing to like feel better, I guess. And on the way back from fishing, she runs into this man who's kind of like a recluse. It says he has a disfigurement. I think something about like his ear or something. I think he's very quiet, and he's like kind of weird about like, he's like, oh, I'm trying to check on the trout this morning, and she's like, oh yeah, I caught this, and he's just like acting kind of weird. And then the mom's like on her way back home. I did glance at chapter 2. The second chapter says Emmeline didn't know what to do. Her mom had been gone a very long time. She was scared. And I'm kind of like, why is her mom a bad mom? You left your daughter alone while she was sleeping. Your daughter's gonna wake up terrified. But I don't know if I really want to read this because the mom doing like drugs and just like, it sounds, she's probably doing the best she can, but also it sounds like she's kind of a neglectful mother a little bit, and it just, I don't know. Supposedly the man is going to save her daughter, and I guess they like move in with him. I think he's a bear. I think he turns into a bear. That's like the fairy tale aspect. I don't know. My 2 maybes are romance. I don't know. I haven't been in a romance mood, so I'm not sure if I should keep these. This one's expiration dates. The first chapter is pretty interesting. It sounds like the main character is going on a date with her soulmate. So from what I know about the book, this main character gets a scrap of paper with a name and like how long she'll date them. Like she's been getting this for her whole life, and I guess she's gonna meet her soulmate in it. It sounds pretty cute. So I'm leaning towards keep, and the chapters seem pretty short and it's not that long. So I think this could be really like, just like a nice little palette cleanser book. And then this one's been on my TBR for so long. Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. So the first chapter was the female main character. I think her name's Lark. She's opening these boxes that aren't for her. She's moved to Ireland for, I think she's trying to get over the death of her husband. She's trying to move on with her life, and she's opening these boxes with like body bags in them, and she drops them off next door, and next door is like a funeral home, and he's the main male character, and I believe he has to marry someone before he's 35 to take over the business, and I think they're gonna like, they're probably going to come to some kind of agreement like, oh, I can help you. I don't know. I don't like books about like spouses dying because it kind of makes me really anxious. So I don't know if I want to read it or not. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Right now it's like a maybe. Okay, like a maybe. My only keep for sure is Eliza Clark's Penance. So this is about a murder, and it's telling, well, we start off with a podcast because there's not really chapters, so I kind of just read a little bit, but it starts off with this podcast about 3 guys talking about this murder, and they're being really, really disgusting. It was really awful to read because they're talking about how hot, how none of the girls are hot, and they're 16, like 16 and 17-year-olds, and you can tell these are like grown men talking about the looks of these girls when there's like an actual, like this is real life that they're talking about. I'm very particular about true crime and like books about true crime. I believe this is a fictional case, which I hope so. I don't think it's real, but it's about this girl who was set on fire by some of her classmates, and then she dies from her injuries, I believe. And I like the way it's written. It feels like it's gonna be very literary, but it also feels like you're reading about the case. I don't know. I like the way it was written. I feel like it's gonna have some good commentary on true crime, which is what I typically look for. I'm very into books that tackle true crime because it's turned into an entertainment thing, which I understand that we as humans are very fascinated by things that are dark and that don't really make sense to us because we don't really get like committing crimes like that, like murder. But I do feel like a lot of people don't take it seriously, and it's just disheartening to look at a lot of times. Taking in true crime on how we should be taking it more seriously. We shouldn't just be like, oh, this is a fun little show. It's real life. People actually died. This is like horrific. So I'm very intrigued by this one, and I'm going to keep it. So our final tally is 2 keeps out of the 22 books, which I think is actually pretty good. We have 9 maybes and 11 unhauls, which I think is pretty good. Those are some pretty good numbers, if I do say so myself. So please let me know if you like this video, if you want to see me do this more, because I definitely have more books I could probably do this with. I am always looking to lower my TBR. But let me know if you think any of the maybes I should definitely keep or definitely unhaul. And let me know if you think any of the unhauls I should actually take out and keep. But definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see this more on my channel. I could definitely do this instead of just like regular unhauls, because I think this is pretty fun, and it did take me a while, but I think we got better results this way. So I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. Give this video a like, subscribe, hype, blah blah blah. I know you're all tired of hearing me say that, but they do really help my channel when you do interact with the video. And that's it. So I hope you're having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!